Got a guy from Unit 4.
Really?
Yeah, can I go talk to him?
So if I open the door, you gonna be chill for them to talk to you?
I never disrespect you like that. Never, ever. It's my word.
Just have a seat for me, okay?
So what was going on? Honestly, it's like me and he police, he can just wave a wine and now I'm gone. And I ain't trying to be locked down, I'm trying to be up there.
Just give you a little time, calm down, give him some time to calm down, and maybe things can get worked out. But for the time being, I can't take you back up there. They can make a decision with the supervisor and we can go from there.
All right, cool. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
I feel like I overreached. I have no idea what's gonna happen. A lot of inmates went to the hole and didn't come back. While I'm sitting and saying, my new cellmate just sitting in my cell. But he could easily find my drugs or my shanks. You know, roll one under the door to somebody, or somebody can come to the door. Hey, I'm gonna do this to you when you come out if you don't give me all his commissary. This by yourself, this is torture. This is torture. This is torture. I don't get afraid of a lot of things, but going to SEG was the first time I ever been nervous, scared, or anything. The first time. Everybody got a breaking point. I'm thinking like, all right, it's time to hang it up.
The side guys come in and take Tony out in cuffs. I thought, damn, he's gonna be locked down for several days, and I'm gonna be on my own. Then I actually got worried and concerned because now I'm thinking to myself, what's gonna happen to all this stuff now?
Slam on me when they pack my.
You going to one? They gonna come back and get it. Should I pack it up? I'm gonna pack it up for him.
Tony has a lot of stuff in his cell. So I kept my eyes on Tony's cell door to see who was coming, who was going. There was a lot of action at his door.
He took them. He had them in his belt.
Tony has a new cellmate now who I'm not real familiar with. So those guys were trying, Tony's cellmate, to try to get items like, hey, he owes me this, I need that.
Pack them all. You don't get all this, pack it all, I'm gonna see the trash bag. All right.
I need the trash bag, sir.
Oh, we finna get his stove. The ease too. We finna get his. We finna eat good. That's your shoes? No, that's his shoes. Yeah, I got it.
Champagne had every intention on going there and cleaning that cell out of every item he had, any money, any cigarettes, any food. I knew if Tony come back and stuff was gone, if the fight was on. I knew it was gonna be a free-for-all in there.
What's not real? The side team already said don't let nobody in there. They just called and said don't let nobody in there.
959 First Central.
Tony told us he was going to come in, test officers, so he did that. He went a little bit too far, so we brought him down in our intake area and put him in a cell for a cool-off period, and then he was ready to go back in.
I'm not gonna let nobody in there with his roommate.
So who has control of the door? Still
Champagne was trying to get the CO to pop Tony's door while he was away, and then Tony comes back in. was relieved when Tony came back. I kind of had that little sigh of relief, like, okay, we're back to a team now. I got help here. I got somebody that has my back. But at the same time, I thought, that's kind of weird, you know? He got escorted out by the SOD guys, but he's back in a few hours later. Even myself thought that was suspicious that Tony came back up pretty quick, because I had seen some other interactions with the SOD and COs where they took guys and they didn't come back. I think that put another target on him, like, hey, why is he getting out so quick?
Back? I thought you was on for 3 days. Yeah, I thought so too. That's what they said. Here, let's say you back act up by last back, huh?
I was in SEG rough probably 4 hours maybe. And I already respect Jermichael more. Not solely because he sent me to the hole, but more so because how he handled that situation. He didn't go for what I was selling him. So that was perfect. That was amazing.
Sucks, huh? Bruh. As soon as you leave everybody, man, let me get this. Really? Hey, hell no. Are you serious? Yeah.
However, me not spending a week in the hole or a couple days in the hole, it definitely opened the door for more suspicion. It's like, dude, is he really 60 days in? So I definitely feel like they're on to me. They're on to me.
Good morning. Glad everybody come out this morning. Really appreciate it. 10 months ago, we did the first shakedown. We filled up 4 tables of contraband, but our jails had a lot of improvements. A lot of our security's been enhanced. So I believe that this time things will be better. Thanks, sir. When I first came into office, we did a full shakedown and found over 5,000 pounds of contraband. And now, after 2 phases of the program, we want to do a final shakedown to see how far we've came. There's already suspicion on the women, and with the situation between Tony and Jermichael, there seems to be suspicion on Tony as well. So I want to do this shakedown now because the participants may not have much time left.
Good morning.
This, one of these has come off that they broke off from the door.
All right, guys, come on.
Come on.
Let's close on real quick.
I don't see the wall popping up, man.
Do what?
I said, don't you be popping up right there.
We done told you 3 times to get up. You ain't woke up. Come on.
When I first woke up, there was already about 5 or 6 people in my cell. I'm just kind of freaking out.
That's why I come over here and open your curtain. You ain't supposed to have it anyway.
Get up.
Watch yourself, man. For real, I'm gonna give you what you want.
What we want?
Whatever you want.
Come on, look, put your clothes on.
I love the fact that they hit us like that in the morning while everyone was asleep. You know, element of surprise is key.
All of them in here for.
Documentary.
But with this particular incident, that wasn't a good thing because I got drugs, I got shanks in my cell. If I get caught with any of this, you know, this could compromise the whole program and put everybody at risk. This ain't going according to my plan because they caught me out blindside. I know they're gonna find it. I'm just like, damn, how am I gonna pull this off? Because I don't wanna get caught with drugs in a jailhouse facility. You know, that's automatically outside charges. They're gonna definitely send me to SEG, and I'm gonna stay this time. I'm just kind of freaking out.
No, go ahead and hold out.
You got to piss, man.
You get back in a second. Just a second. Where's it? We're gonna take it 2 seconds. Let me see your talk paper.
Y'all doing too much.
Let's see your talk paper.
Damn.
Let's see your talk paper. Let me show you. Give me the talk paper.
it's all good.
I mean, buddy, you better chill out, man. Man, you better chill, boy.
Where are we going with all this?
You know what I'm saying? I'm not there. He just yanked the blanket, man. That's too much, man. I got drugs. I got shanks in my cell. I know they're gonna find him.
Step on that way.
So you're good. Good. I honestly couldn't believe how disappointing the search was because they didn't find anything. They did not find anything. Every bit of that was in my cell when they did that shakedown, and they did not find anything. This is definitely a win for Tony. However, it is a loss for the jail.
Some jail-made weapons, possibly a chisel and shank. That was in this cell here? Yes, sir.
Hey, Chief. We've gotten word from our control room. The inmates think that the production and the participants are police. There's already a lot of suspicion on our people, and now, because of the shakedown, there's even more. And we've been hearing some pretty credible threats against them.
And are we hearing it on both sides, male and female, or just
Pretty specific threats on Tony, Vanessa specifically.
if it's an unsafe environment, we're getting a lot of credible threats. All four's got to come out. I mean, their safety's number one. Doesn't matter how we pull it out, let's get them out.
Signs. Which one y'all sign? You pack it up. Huh? Pack it up. All the way. Damn, man.
That's what I'm talking about. So I'm lying in bed. I hear the key ring jingle. The door opens, and they call my name. Told me to roll it up. Roll it up means you're out.
Rail. Pack it up. Pack it up. Where you going? I know they packing you up.
When they called my name, you know, I'm extremely excited. Once I got my bearings and could figure out what was going on, I was like, oh crap.
Packing you up for?
The CO just sitting at the door. I got my drugs hid by the camera. I need to stall the CO so I can jump up there and grab these drugs and get this shank. And I can't be too suspicious about it, because if he see me jump up there, he's gonna say, oh, what's that? What are you getting? I stalled him long enough for him to go somewhere else. As soon as he left my cell, I ran, jumped up there, grabbed him, jumped back down, put it in my socks.
Cool. I'll see you, bro. See you, man.
I see you, man. Later. Take it easy, man.
All right, bro.
Young Habits, Alabama. Yeah, shoot.
Now you can step in the shower and change. Okay, step in the shower and change.
When we got the intake, now I'm thinking like I got the drugs on my person. I'm really freaking out. If I get caught with drugs even on my way out, that's automatically outside charges. There's serious consequences if you get caught. When we came in, they searched me well. In my book, it was 100% correct. If they conduct a search like that on the way out, then they're gonna find it. But they didn't, thank God. I mean, to exit the jail, that was like amazing. We out of here. We did it. We out. It's over with. Damn.
Oh, yeah. Deep, bro. Oh, man, get me the out of here. Go. Take me straight to Atlanta, bro. For real. I feel like it's done a year. Man, God. Man.
How you guys feeling?
Good. I got something for you. Got some clone and some pills. And some more cash, $60 in cash.
I was definitely surprised that he would take that risk to not only to receive that stuff in jail to get his hands on it, but to store it and keep it and then get released with it.
Here I have roughly 5 pills. This is all cash that I receive from inmates buying product from me.
I thought, all right, you know, he could have given me a heads up, hey, you could try to get this out, I'm gonna try to get this out. So yeah, I was kind of like bummed. I'm like, man, he tried to one-up me there, and I thought, you know, there you go.
You know, I think you should give it to the sheriff and debrief.
Yeah, exactly. Man. We made it, man. We made it.
In and out.
Hey, man, you know, it ain't built. Everybody ain't built for this.
No.
After phase 1, we implemented some major changes. We've invested a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of funds. We know that it will never be perfect, but we certainly have high expectations of it being tremendously better. I'm ready now to let them tell us where we stand and what else we might need to do. Heather, how are you?
Good, Sheriff. How are you?
Good.
Good to see you again.
How's it going, Tony?
You doing all right?
Looking
Looking good, man.
Yes,
you feeling
sir.
good?
You guys hiding out up here or what?
Oh, yes, sir. How's it going,
Chief,
Dolly?
how you doing?
Doing all right?
You're a lot better now, Sheriff.
Good to see you.
Walk down those things. Hey, how are you, Vanessa?
How you doing?
You doing all right? You feel like a bird out of the cage too, don't you? All right, guys, so we got a lot to talk about, and, you know, to begin with, after the last group of participants, we learned in the exit interviews, we had a lot of inconsistencies in our intake.
So me personally, if I had to give the sheriff a grade right now, for the intake process, I'd be at a C+.
Honestly, me, the intake, I'm gonna say like a B. Because, I mean, it's a lot of stuff that, you know, that we're gonna get there, but comparing the first phase to the second phase, I'd definitely say a B.
I guess as far as the topic of officers in general, one of the issues, and I just think that it's an elephant in a room kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It's hard to find the right job applicants. In the condition we in now, who the hell wants to go to work there? So we have to make our facility not only better to be safer for everyone, but to attract the right applicants.
Right.
To give them something to want to be a part of.
Part of my reason coming back too was I wanted to push every CO and every opportunity that was given to me, I wanted to exploit it. I want to take full opportunity of it. I seen a difference. Let's talk about Jamichael. So him and I had words. I pushed him and pushed him and pushed him, but the way he handled the situation, you know, he backed off. He was like, all right, listen, Reals, you need to relax and, you know, go on about your business. With Jamichael, he actually did like a 360 in my eyes. Like he ended up, he did a good job in my opinion. I mean, I'm impressed by that.
So we've went over a lot of information, and so the next topic here is drugs, weapons, and contraband. Vanessa?
Well, me and Tony passed a lot of notes through the visitation door between units.
That door is a major security breach.
Yes, definitely get that welded shut.
That
It's like
door has got
maybe,
to.
what, like a 3-inch?
Big gap.
Yeah,
Big
like
gap.
a gap, you just slide whatever through. I could have got some clone, I could have got anything and just slid it over there and did whatever needed to be done.
You know, we had a shakedown this past Friday. The aggression and the hostility and the results of that shakedown had put some pressure on the program. And we felt safety first, and that's why we pulled you out as early and the way that we did. So, did you hear any talk? Did they know a shakedown was coming, or was there any sense of that?
We had no information on. No, it was total surprise. I mean, obviously from the reactions of the inmates, beating doors, banging doors, they're a little upset about it too.
Yeah, I was completely blindsided. In the cell, I had clone, I had pills, I had shanks.
In yours?
In my cell, I'm like, yo, they about to find all this stuff, and they didn't find it. I ended up getting some clone.
So is that what you got there? Is
Yes.
cologne, or?
I got like 5, 6 pills and some clone.
All right, get that, bro.
Yes, sir.
And this was all just over the time?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not it. It's pretty much the side of a eyeglasses, and they just sharpened the edge on the steel door and pretty much made a shank. In the right person's hands, this could be like extremely dangerous, you know?
Damn.
Like I told you first, I said, hey, look, don't tell me to do something because I'm gonna make sure I do it. And the fact that you brought me back and you telling me the same thing, you know, you can look at the bigger picture. I mean, you sitting here listening at us, rah, 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 tear at you, and you're thinking about how you can grow from it. You know, I feel like Etowah County is that much more safe because you're in office, to be honest.
Thank you, Tony. Obviously, we wouldn't know, you know, what we know without you. And I know this is something that's gonna be challenging. It's something that's gonna take some time, but at the same time, at the very end, it's gonna be extremely enriching and rewarding. And you guys have given me the energy and the initiative to want to follow through with that. And for that, I can never tell you I appreciate it enough. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to 60 Days In, The Aftermath. I'm Dan Abrams. We just wrapped up season 6 of 60 Days In, where another round of undercover participants fought to survive in what may have been the toughest jail we've seen in 6 seasons. Let's meet our panel. I'd like to welcome Sheriff Jonathan Horton and Chief Keith Peak from the Etowah County Detention Center. Gentlemen, good to have you here.
Good to be here.
And good to have all of our participants. Alex, Shanice, Tony, Ashley, Dennis, and Jennifer. The women and the men have not met each other before, but something that's maybe even a little more striking, Dennis and Alex, are you surprised to see Tony here?
I'm not surprised at all.
You're not?
Nah.
You knew?
I knew from the jump.
that Tony had been put in there as a plant.
Yeah. I figured that out from the jump.
Did you know?
I only knew because Dennis was like, yo, on the low.
Yeah, really?
I can't tell you who, but they got another dude in here. And I was like, all right.
You know, I had to make Alex aware, you know, of his surroundings.
Dennis claims that he has reached pod boss status. Do you see that?
Nah, not at all, no.
What a hater. What a hater. Look at that.
Dennis is definitely not a pod boss. No. Why? Because you work out? Curious to know what he do for a living. I guarantee he probably sit behind somebody's desk somewhere, work from home or something, sell insurance or something. He's an interesting character. We talk a lot, but the pod boss.
Oh, man, Tony, hater, man. Tony mad because I ain't give him a soup and stole that, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, man, you know what's going on with the stove.
Tony, we heard what you thought about Dennis. You stand by what you said there?
Yeah.
He was not a pod boss.
No.
Dennis, what?
I mean, I consider myself a pod boss, not in the sense where I'm threatening somebody or beating somebody up. That's not the case. But more so, I can walk anywhere in the jail and feel cool.
Like a respect thing.
Respect thing, yeah.
Right.
You want to tell Tony what you actually do for a living?
Sell
insurance.
I did get into that a little bit, but.
Alex, let's move on to your story. You went from living with your parents to living in jail.
Right.
Big change.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. What did your parents say when you said to them, hey, I'm going to go to jail?
They were like, well, I think that's the wrong decision. I don't understand why you would even want to do that.
Tony, what did you remember about Alex?
I feel like, all he was doing was just doing laps all day.
Yeah.
But honestly, my personal opinion to you, listen to your parents.
So you think that Alex made a mistake by getting into the program?
Right, with all of us sitting up here saying safety first, that was a mistake for him coming.
But when was my safety ever in jeopardy? When was I ever in a situation where somebody was trying to fight me or trying to take my? Because that never happened. And I'm tired of people saying that I was like, in a dangerous situation or anything, because nothing happened to me. I didn't get in any anything, and it's starting to piss me off.
Hold on, let him finish.
So I'm tired of it, everyone trying to appear like that it was this way or what way, because I never was in any drama or anything. Like you said, I did do a lot of laps and but I wasn't.
I don't think people are saying that, you're gonna get stabbed or you're gonna get jumped. I don't think people are saying that directly, but however, I know if I can go in there and do what I did, I know for a fact there's people just as big and bad as I am who can take advantage of you extremely easy.
Jacob was another participant who made 60 days in history, not for necessarily the right reasons. Let's watch.
For me to tap out, it's gonna take a shank to the body. I think this is going to be a lot harder than I thought.
What? Was that the signal?
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, a lot of people have been here for a long time. How do you feel like?
I'm done. I can't. I'm done. I'm sorry.
Tony, you couldn't believe it. You said, wait a sec, he just gave the signal thinking that it wasn't really that.
Right. You tapped out an intake, you already knew that wasn't for you. You didn't even make it into the pod, so mentally, you going in, you was already defeated, I feel. And that could have been a spot or opportunity for someone else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So the whole tapping out thing, I'll never down anyone for tapping out. However, in your specific case, you tapped out an intake. Come on, bruh.
What all of you did not know is that after you left, Sheriff Horton decided to put a new group of participants into the jail for a second phase of the program.
Oh, wow.
Dang, dudes.
We're here with the Season 6 Phase 2 participants to discuss their time in the Etowah County Detention Center. Welcome, Vanessa, Donovan, Heather, and welcome back, Tony. So you may have all noticed that there is one participant from the Special Ops who is missing, and you're probably wondering what had happened to him. So we're ready to answer that for you. Let's bring out Mark. Mark, welcome.
Thank you.
At training, Mark was met with some doubts about completing the program, but he was determined to prove everyone wrong. Tony, why did you doubt Mark from the start?
I was right?
Apparently.
Okay. I just want to be clear. So you tapped out because you was injured, right?
Because of my head, yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, what was your question?
I was asking why you were concerned about Mark's ability to make it from the start.
Because we're sitting down talking. Just like I said, he's real fidgety, nervous, jittery. I mean, it's normal to be nervous to go to jail, whether you volunteer or involunteer. I mean, it's normal to be nervous and, real anxious. But it was just I wasn't receiving the same vibe like I was receiving from the rest of the participants. It was just too much. It was just too, even when he, excuse me, when he was just walking and we was talking, it was just, when he came in, he's real fidgety. The one thing well, honestly, I wouldn't cut him any slack for a couple of reasons. Excuse me. Because, first phase, the guys, I wasn't able to talk to anyone or, we wasn't able to really reach out or we didn't feel comfortable reaching out. I felt like this group, second phase, we had enough time to build somewhat of a relationship. I mean, we didn't have, hours on hours and hours, but we had enough time where I think everybody felt comfortable enough where, Donovan, I think you felt comfortable enough to come to me and vice versa, and y'all too as well, and everyone else. So for you to make that decision for yourself, I mean, even though it's for yourself, your safety is extremely important. I feel like you had the resources that, could pull you back in, like, hey, look, we got you, what you need, what you want. You need some food, you need to talk to somebody, you need to, you want to come in my cell, however you want to play it. And I don't feel like you use your resources. Honestly, me personally, I feel like you use a back injury or an injury just so as a way out. I had a back injury. I was in pain. Donovan he even had something going on. So and I'm sure the ladies, they had something. So I don't know how much pain you were in, but to me, it's, me personally, I ain't buying it.
I can assure you, you have no idea what my pain is.
Right.
You have no idea what my body's going through. No one does. But the thing I want to address with you is before we ever even met, before we even spoke to each other, you're sizing me up because you wanted to say something. The last thing anyone ever does in law enforcement is judge somebody else. That gets you killed. I wouldn't have done that to you, I wouldn't have done that to anybody.
Right.
You know, but for you to do that at that training was wrong. And yes, that pissed me off.
Right.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I don't think he was much judging, as more sizing you up or just kind of feeling
Please
you
help
out.
me out here.
Judging, you're right, may get some people hurt in law enforcement, but sizing somebody up in law enforcement is the number one thing I do, especially in the job.
You
I
got to
have.
do that. That's,
And I would assume that it does in the corrections. They need to size of the thing.
But that's not what that was.
Yeah.
That was
I
to
don't
make
think,
a moment.
I don't think he was
there,
more judging
you know?
you, more than just sizing you up
Yeah,
and see
no,
how
it
he's
was-
going to react to
Yeah,
issues or problems. And I think that's what Tony was saying. He more or less sized you up, saying, I don't think this guy's got what it takes to make it.
And it wasn't just Tony, just so you know. They put him on the camera, but we all thought the same thing.
Everybody.
I mean, to not call out
be
Tony,
I'll be the villain.
I
I don't
sized
mind,
you up and I
but-
thought you'd tap out as well.
but just-
at the sake of being transparent. It was your aura about you.
Yeah. It's nothing like I think you're a bad guy.
And no, that's fine that you didn't think I would make it, that's fine. That's not the part. What bothered me with you was that first moment where you're like, I'll take your stuff. That wasn't
He was trying to help you. He was trying to help you.
No, that's not what it was.
That was straight up.
Yeah, he was letting you. He was trying to prepare you.
That's what I mean about you wasn't ready. Like, no one else took offense but you.
Didn't take
Like,
it personally.
you
Yeah, we
took
weren't
it personal
offended.
because you have issues you need to get straight before you come and try to do this. I came at Vanessa the wrong way. I came at Heather the wrong way. I came at Donovan the wrong way.
But you didn't, though. You were.
Did
you said what you said about
see
you.
what
I
we
just
just
watched
seen?
them.
Okay, I'm just.
No one else was. I'm gonna take your stuff. I mean, you don't.
Hey, that was his way of
You know.
saying you're probably weak. You better toughen up quick before we get put in jail. That's basically
And
what he
then,
was saying.
and us having this conversation is proof that what I said was true. So
It wasn't.
Next
No one
question.
could take. No one took my stuff. No one would. I left
wrong?
early. Nobody was taking my stuff. I didn't leave because I was afraid of somebody in there. That's not why I left.
Did you tap out?
I tapped out.
Okay, I was right. Next question, please.
So, Mark, I want to make sure you get an opportunity to specifically lay out what happened.
It was the first night trying to go to sleep where people are screaming, they're going crazy. There's nonstop all night long, the echo, but the light being on all night. And it was after the second night, it just wasn't stopping. It was just a constant pain, constant ringing in my head. So I knew I had to get out of there.
But you do understand everything that you're saying is like, that's just normal jail activities. You're saying you can't sleep. I'm like, was we in the same pod? I'm just trying to figure out what did you experience different than Donovan and I.
I knew what to expect. I knew it was gonna be loud. I knew it was gonna be like living in Gitmo. I knew that. Okay, that wasn't the problem. Okay, when I got in and the spinning of my head when it stopped, that was my problem.
We're being compared to Gitmo now?
I was just going to say, I'm sure you guys are thrilled that you're being compared to
Yeah,
Gitmo.
I mean, wow.
Yeah.
And I mean, the women are a whole lot meaner than me.
Yeah.
You're lucky you weren't in our pod.
Yeah.
It only lasted one day.
They loud.
Yeah, we didn't sleep at all. I think.
We're here with both groups of participants from Phase 1 and Phase 2. There was one participant, this is the first time this has ever happened on the series, who went back into the jail after leaving the facility, and that participant was Tony. He went back for a second round. I'm looking at Dennis's face. Are you looking at him thinking, are you crazy?
Nah, it wasn't that. It was.
No, Dennis is thinking, why didn't they pick me?
Yeah.
That's what he's really thinking. See, that's why I rock.
I gotta do that. No, just like, hold up. I get it though. Tony the ops. You know what I'm saying? Tony on the other side. I don't play on that side, but I get it now. It makes sense.
Tony, which was harder, Phase 1 or Phase 2?
Phase 2.
They're only 30 days though.
Yeah, Phase 2. Phase 2 is definitely harder. Why? Because I had the luxury of being the team leader. You know, I felt a sense of obligation to, their safety or to reaching out to people, making sure they're okay. As opposed to the first phase, I knew who everyone else was, but they didn't know exactly who I was.
Tony went in determined to be pod boss, but did he go too far? Let's watch.
This guy named Anthony, I gave him some grits.
because the man said he was hungry, so I fed him. And he said he was gonna give me 3 soups in return for the 3 packs of grits I gave him. But come time for him to pay me back, nothing. Give me all your clothes. I want all your clothes. I want everything. I want your socks, I want your shoes, I want your pants. Now, at that point, it was like no mercy. Like, you lucky I left you with your drawers, you know what I mean?
Tony, you think you went too far?
No. No, not at all. I could have done more.
You think you should have done more?
Yeah, absolutely.
You get a whole business going.
Yeah.
That was part of the game. That was part of his thing.
Right? I mean,
yeah, I was running a store.
Yeah.
I was a store.
Yeah. Did that concern the two of you, that Tony was effectively in business there?
Well, it goes back to nobody in this room stopped to think how much problems that caused for the deputy, how much stress. You know, biggest part of the stress in there is store.
But
you know?
who runs the store?
Sounds like the inmates.
No, the jail is the one, the store.
No, but see, you're getting lost in it, though.
I'm lost in it?
Yes.
You want to come to my facility, sir?
I mean, don't get defensive. We're just having a conversation.
I'm not the
We're just having a conversation.
The store runs that place because there's no limits. Everyone gets anything they want. So those are allowed to happen.
So the inmates are okay to break the rules.
Because the staff aren't stopping it.
So it's all the inmates, correct?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What I'm saying is the store needs more limits. If you put a limit on what people can order, then he can't come spend his $500 and run. That's what I'm saying,
That was the
sir.
problem with Angel. She had over $1,000 in her book.
That's my point.
Tony, let's talk about phase 2. You had a cellmate named Chad, and you had suggested to him to go steal a crossword puzzle book, and he was sent to the hole. Let's watch.
Hey, don't do that little brother like that. That's crazy.
Chad is Tony's bitch.
Damn, Tony, you got him trained, don't you?
Anything Tony tells Chad to do, Chad does.
I see a crossword puzzle book on the CO's desk. I'm like, I want that. I know I'm not gonna get it. So, get it, boom. Take it in the wrong, we good.
We're gonna have a stare down, or you just gonna go ahead and fess up? I'll up, here you go.
I'm like, dang, man, I know he gone. He gone. He in the hole, yeah, because of something that I asked him to do. But I mean, it's jail. He a grown man. He make his own decisions.
Why are you shaking your head?
Like when I went in trying to help people, not, I'm not gonna say necessarily set them up because they're gonna do what they're gonna do, but when you go in the facility, you know people have mental health issues, they have drug issues, and I almost feel like, I mean, I don't personally know you, it almost feels like you were adding to that by hinting, not saying go do that, but yeah, you know I want that, and you know how people feel about you. That's why I was like, because I didn't think that I would see you do that. So I was like, whoa.
So let me explain. So first phase, that wasn't the case. Second phase, any CEO that could be compromised, I tried to bribe, I offered money, I offered cash, anything. That's
but at the expense of another inmate who you know is struggling with things, whether it's confidence, whether it's self-esteem, whether it's drugs, whether it's any of that. Do you feel like you compromised them?
He went behind the desk and grabbed soap 1,000 other times, to be honest. Just so happened, he asked me if I wanted a crossword puzzle book, and now Sarge was looking at the camera, and they rush in and take him to the hole. I mean, I'm a real person, and so if you ask me if that bothered me, no, it doesn't.
Let me ask Donovan. Donovan, you're an undercover officer. What do you make of it?
There's a lot of things that Tony did that I kind of questioned. Did he take it too far? That was one of the things. There's a few other things, but he actually helped that kid. That kid was getting beat up. He was getting taken advantage of. They was taking his trays daily. And I'm like beat up. It's not like, just a punch in the face. They was like torturing that kid. So Tony did use him as kind of a pawn to help him, but he also never missed a meal. He had plenty of extra on store day. Tony was taking care of the kid.
Tony was always testing boundaries. At one point, the handcuffs became real. Take a look.
When I'm on the phone, and all of a sudden they just click the button, and now they hang up on my phone call, that's really pissing me off.
Shut the door, boy.
Jermichael, I feel like he's a horrible CO. He say we got 20 minutes to eat, we end up getting like 10, 15. And I know I ain't tripping because he the only CO who be acting like that.
Let's go. I swing anything. That's the COs too. Bro, I ain't never seen you in Gaston before.
He said something along the lines of, I never seen you here in Gaston and this and that. He's trying to say like, oh, you 60 days in. So now I'm about to slaughter him now. I'm about to come at him harder now.
I can't charge you, people. So what?
Just walking out the cell, people looking. So the first thing I'm thinking is, what's really going on? Like, where are you taking me? I'm thinking like, all right, it's time to hang it up.
What happened, Tony?
CO Jermichael and I, we had words. He was insinuating that I was 6 days in, and I didn't like it. So he said what he said, I said what I said, and being that he's the CO, I end up going to the hole. And that's pretty much.
How long were you there?
Couple hours.
What did you all make of this, particularly you, Chief?
Well, they originally called me when it actually happened. Our female SOT officer called me and said, how do you want us to handle this? And my exact words to her was, I said, you follow our use of force policy to the T. If you have to use force, follow our use of force.
And I was open to that. I made that very clear.
Yeah.
I said.
And Tony knew that going in.
Yeah,
He
I
knew if he pushed it,
I was
he
cool.
knew what was coming.
And I let the sheriff and them know. I said, hey, if I get tased, I'm okay with that. If I get pepper spray, I'm okay. I'm not against anything. So when I tell you I'm going to push your COs, I mean what I tell you.
Donovan, you were there when this happened with Tony. You think he was out of line?
No. There's a lot of things I've seen Tony do that I would have done personally, but I knew his strategy. And I knew what he was testing and why he was testing it. He took the CO to the level right before he got pepper sprayed. If he got sprayed, like Tony said, he had it coming, but he didn't. He pushed him to the point where the SOD would actually come in. And then the reason he was doing that, because he wanted to see how the SOD team reacted. And what I can remember what Tony told me, he said, man, they acted 100% appropriately.
Yeah. I will say this, that I had the luxury of seeing was first phase and second. From first phase to second phase, I will say 110%. Trust me when I tell you, they made a lot of changes, a ton of changes. So, just with the negative feedback collectively that all of us was giving the sheriff and Chief Pete at some point, for a sheriff to be able and a chief to be able to take negative criticism like that about their facility, that says a lot. So that's why I feel confident when I say that, I feel like they're going to do an amazing job. Time to come.
I agree.
Show of hands, would any of you do a phase 3? Raise your hand if you would go in again.
Man.
Now I'm
go in again?
I'll go in again after this air.